Outside the home of the woman at the centre of an Israeli national scandal, protesters shout traitor and shame. Less than a week ago, Yifat Tomer-Yerushalmi was the Israeli military's top lawyer, but now she's lost both her IDF career and liberty after admitting she was the one behind a leak of footage from inside a controversial detention centre. The former military advocate general sparked a manhunt on Sunday after going missing following her resignation. She claims not to remember portions of time from her disappearance, and police can't locate her phone for evidence. She's now been remanded in custody, accused of fraud and breach of trust, abuse of official power, obstruction of justice, and disclosure of information by a public official. The footage at the centre of the fallout at the top of the IDF appears to show soldiers taking a Palestinian detainee aside at Detention Detention Centre in July last year and using their riot gear to hide them allegedly sexually abusing the man. The former chief military prosecutor said she leaked the video to counter false propaganda against the army's law enforcement authorities. The soldiers allegedly involved were arrested by Tomer-Yerushalmi's department, sparking protests outside the detention centre. Some of those in the crowd were MPs from the ruling coalition.
You have to understand the terrorists who raped, slaughtered and abused our people found a new method, a whining like rats that some soldier touched them.
Just yesterday, the 5 soldiers who have been indicted for the assault held a press conference, bolstered by support from Prime Minister Netanyahu himself. They claimed the leaked video means they won't get a fair trial.
We are fighters who need the backing of the government, the backing of the system. But instead of a hug, we got accusations. Instead of thanks, we got silence. We will continue to fight for justice for ourselves, for our friends, for our families, for everyone who came out in uniform and defended our home. We will win.
A long-standing target of Israel's right wing, Tomer-Yerushalmi's rapid fall has quickly emerged as a national scandal, overshadowing the video at the centre of the case. But it's not the first time accusations of this kind have been made. Over the last year, Channel 4 News has spoken to several detainees from Detention who allege they too were physically assaulted and sexually abused by IDF soldiers.
When you are bent over, they target your ass with a baton from behind, both the women and the men. Everything is focused there. The baton, with its thickness and made of iron, when it's extended and inserted inside you, it feels like your brain is exploding.
Bodies of Palestinian detainees returned from Israel to Gaza as part of the recent peace deal also allegedly show signs of abuse, with some bearing marks of torture and execution. The release of the CCTV from this alleged incident has fueled an intense political backlash, laying bare the cracks in Israel between politicians and the judicial system, with the leak now seemingly a bigger priority to the government than the alleged crime itself. I'm joined now by Yossi Meckelberg, who's a senior consulting fellow at Chatham House. What were her motivations, do you think, for releasing the footage? Obviously, there's now questions over fairness in trial and everything.
No doubt, and she admitted in a letter and resigned. There was a lack of judgment there. But I think one also need to understand the immense pressure she was under. Here comes, a complaint about a Palestinian detainee that was allegedly abused by a number of reservist soldiers that in this case work as some sort of prisoner guards. The detainee was so badly harmed that he has to be hospitalized. Come then to light a video, a recording from the CCTV that at least on the face of it, proves, what was alleged. She charged them. The immediate response of this is dozens of people. It's descent on the detention center that was built immediately after October 7, including members of the coalition, break into this, attack the investigators, and from then on, it's out the attacks, the the violence, or at least the verbal abuse against the chief prosecutor, the Advocate General, Tomer-Yerushalmi, was unprecedented, including accusing her of blood libel, which anyone that knows Jewish history know how serious it is. And she tried to defend herself by releasing this clip.
Given the pressure she was under, do you think there was another option?
I mean, there's always another choice not to do that. Maybe sometimes to resign and come completely clean with the media, complain about it, go to the Supreme Court. I think there are sometimes other options. But again, this is not taking away from the severe pressure that she was under as all the legal system, the Supreme Court, the entire judicial system, the Attorney General, the government, they're under constant attack during the current government. And the background of all of it is they try to dismantle the legal system, the judiciary as we know it in Israel, in order to derail Netanyahu's corruption trial. This is a kind of the fundamental issue here. And for this, they are ready to ruin the foundations of Israel's democratic system and harm also the gatekeepers.
Do you think the treatment of her threatens to worsen what Prime Minister Netanyahu has called the worst PR crisis for Israel?
It shows what he said, the completely moral bankruptcy of Netanyahu. It's not the release of the clip that undermines Israel. It's what is alleged to happen there is the problem. And not only there are other cases that are not investigated. You know, whether the killing of journalists, killing of medical personnel, there are so many other cases that not investigated. That's what compromises Israel's morality.
Obviously, this isn't the first time that IDF soldiers have been accused of this type of abuse within Israeli detention centres. Do you think that what's happening at the moment, what's happened recently, makes investigating those allegations more or less likely?
The very detention of people without trial for a long time is deprived them of very basic right. They don't see lawyers, they are not judged on everything. This is basically punishing people without actually proving that they committed any crime. When it happens during war for a short time, some will find excuses for that. When it's for years, and we see the condition that were held, that they are not allowed to see representative of the Red Cross, they are not allowed to see lawyers, they don't know what they are accused of, then the entire legal system is collapsing. Whether they are members of Hamas or in many cases not even members of Hamas are treated like this, who would believe in Israeli justice?
Many of the returned Palestinian bodies allegedly show signs of abuse. Do you think they will be investigated? And do you think that there is a real chance of peace under these circumstances?
I don't know if they're going to be investigated, but I think any allegation of abuse should be investigated. By the way, once because every victim of abuse should have justice, and they deserve justice. But also, if Israeli society would again go back to where it used to be as a liberal and progressive democracy, it is really to look inwards and ask itself difficult questions. Violence doesn't solve anything. Violence breeds more violence and a worse and worse type of violence. And I think if we learned any lesson for that, and I hope also the international community learned the lesson for that, don't let this conflict to go unsolved. And I think, you know, the Trump plan is very far from being perfect, but if it eventually translated into a comprehensive peace deal, then we'll probably see also these terrible scenes disappear from the relations between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
Yossi Meckelberg, thank you very much.
Thank you.